Hey, all my friends, Chad Hymas here. Welcome to this week's Roll of Safety Tip. Welcome back. Glad to have all of you joining us this week. This week we want to talk about the magnitude of being open and being vulnerable when faced with safety situations, and how openness can help other people that we are associated with, and how being vulnerable to when people are open can also assist us in having a culture of zero first aids, recordables, lost times, light duties, and PVAs, which is an acronym for preventable vehicle accidents. So let's first of all talk about being open. When I talk about being open, we need to have cultures at our workplaces where people don't feel like they're going to be reprimanded for being open in a situation where we need work to be stopped immediately. So if I have frontline employees that don't feel like they can be open and share their ideas or have permission to stop work when they see something, even if it's not their job site, we are setting ourselves up for failure. If I have a culture such that people feel that everybody in the company, from our CEO all the way to the person who was just hired yesterday, feel that there's an openness in the entire culture. They can share their feelings, share their ideas, share their opinion about something that might be unsafe. Now we're starting to gain leeway where we are getting closer to closing the gap to a zero culture company in recordables, first aids, light duties, and so on and so forth. Vulnerable, this one's tough. When I say vulnerable, I'm not necessarily talking about making yourself vulnerable to getting hurt. In fact, I'm not even talking about that at all. That's not it. Vulnerability means that you're willing to accept with gratitude when somebody gives your idea, even though you might not agree with it. In other words, I have found in my travels and some of the commonalities amongst companies that are closing that gap and have a culture of a history of zero harm, long history, several 100 million man hours of no first aids, recordables, or light duties, that their people make themselves vulnerable to when others approach them with an unsafe act or unsafe condition, that they are open to say, you know what, you were right, let's do it your way. Let's do it this way. Or, you know what, thank you for that suggestion. I appreciate you letting me know. And so we make ourselves vulnerable. We are most on our way to progress. I'm not looking for perfection. We're looking for progress. We are most progressive when we make ourselves vulnerable to other people's suggestions or ideas, even though they might not be in conjunction with our own ideas. It might be something that you've never tried before, never done before. But we make ourselves vulnerable to that. I have found, even in my own life, being in my personal life, when I'm vulnerable to having the kids help me with certain aspects of my life, getting my shoes on, or grabbing me my Wrangler jeans, and being vulnerable to that, I am more successful, more happy, and they are as well. It's when I shun them away that things aren't so good. And so if we can learn to be more open and more vulnerable, I can promise you that we'll get that much closer to closing the gap to a zero harm culture. Until next week, this is Chad Hymas asking each and every one of you to go home safe and healthy every day and to roll with safety. Thank you.